In this lesson, we're going to talk about the top 10 job interview tips. Tip number 1, arrive early. You should arrive to your interview 10 to 15 minutes in advance. Number 2, the receptionist or the other staff member who greets you is very important. You should act as though they are the person who's going to interview you, even though they might not be. Almost always, the person who interviews you is going to go back and ask the person who greeted you how you presented yourself. So while you're waiting, be sure to be on your best behavior, act as though the interview has already started. You want to be polite, friendly, make eye contact, and do not pull out your cell phone. You want to greet the interviewer with a firm handshake. You don't want to crush them, but you want to smile, look them in the eye, incredibly important to look them in the eye, and give them a firm handshake. It's really a good idea to practice your handshake beforehand if it's not something that you do on a regular basis. Again, make eye contact when you reach out your hand, firm, not crushing, so important. Now, I've already mentioned it, but number 4 is turn your cell phone off. In fact, you might not even want to bring it into the interview, but if you do, turn it off and do not pull it out, even if you're in the lobby waiting. It is so much better to pick up a magazine or to find something else to keep yourself busy. In fact, you can even take a book, but do not pull out your cell phone. Tip number 5 is you want to show energy, enthusiasm, and a positive attitude at all times. Let's say the interviewer asks you, how's your day going? Well, this isn't the time to tell them all the bad things that have happened, if any have happened at all. So always frame things in a positive way. I mean, remember, this is their opportunity to meet you. And if you are negative, they might think that you're always negative. So show energy, enthusiasm, and be positive. Tip number 6, you should be prepared to talk about yourself. You're guaranteed going to be talking about yourself in an interview. So be prepared to tell stories about yourself, to draw upon your academics, any volunteer work you might have done, in sports, anything, just personal stories. So even if you haven't had a job before, that is fine. Just be prepared to talk about yourself. And the best thing you can do to be prepared is to practice. You should also be prepared to say why the job interests you. There might be a lot of different people applying for the job. And if you're the one that can say why this job is special or why it interests you, that will put you ahead of other people interviewing. So tip number 8 is for you to stay focused during the interview. Even if you are focused, your body language might suggest otherwise. So you don't want to fidget. You don't want to pick your fingernails or bite your fingernails or pick your nose or watch the birds fly outside. Maintain focus. Try to maintain eye contact. Now, of course, you're not going to do it like the picture here, but you want to look at the person when they're talking to show respect and to show that you are interested in what they're saying. Tip number 9 is to be prepared to ask a few questions about the job. So after the interviewer is going to say, do you have any questions? And now it's your turn to ask some questions. You can write these down on a notebook ahead of time, so when you go into the interview, you have them. Just pull out your notebook and ask your questions. So some questions you could ask would be things like, how will I be trained? Or how will I be supervised? Will I be working with my supervisor? You could even say, when might I expect to hear from you about this job? I'm really excited. This is not the time to bring up pay. You bring up pay after you've been offered the job. So get the job first, then you ask about pay, and then you decide if this is the job that you want to take or not. Don't bring up pay now. And the last tip, number 10, compose a thank you note. Effective follow-up after your interview can be the thing that separates you. So it is okay to send an email, but it is so much better if you were to handwrite a thank you card. One thing you can do is have it written ahead of time, or have the outline written. Have the card with you, the stamp on the card, be ready to go. So as soon as you get out of the interview, you write down, you finish your card, seal it, put it in the mail. That way the person will get it within a day or two. This could be the thing that puts you ahead and helps you land that job. So let's summarize. What did we learn today? So it starts with arriving early. Then assume that the interview starts when you arrive. It doesn't start when the interviewer first asks you questions, because the interviewer is probably going to ask how you behaved or what you did while you were waiting. So the interview starts right away. You should be on your best behavior, no cell phones. A firm handshake with good eye contact is the way to go. And like I said, ditch that cell phone. Do not bring it with you. If you have to, hide it. And it's time to put your positive pants on and show them how enthusiastic you are. Be ready to talk about yourself and tell them why the job interests you. Maintain eye contact and don't fidget. Don't pick and bite your fingernails or pick your nose. Just keep yourself leaning slightly forward to show that you're interested, and try to keep your hand motions to a minimum. You're going to get ready to ask those questions at the end of the interview and send that thank you note as soon as you are done. So what now? Well, to get credit, you're going to answer the questions at the end of this video. And of course, you're going to let me know if you have any questions. And can I just tell you how cute a basket of kangaroos is? Have a great day.